got behind Dream very much because we saw it as being something different which we could be delivered in St Helens. But I think it just says a lot about St Helens Council, that we've got a real sort of broad approach to what we do and what does regeneration actually mean. And we just saw this as another important strand to the bow in terms of what we were delivering here. We'd already delivered street art in terms of things like the Needle and the mining monument and the Anderton Shearer. And this was our next big challenge. I mean, this was in a completely different league to anything that we'd done before. But obviously that we knew there was a lot of money behind all of this, and so we could actually deliver something here which was actually going to really make a difference.
I was a project manager in a technical lead role sense, whereas Liverpool Biennial also were project managing, but more from a programme, broader definition. So my role was initially to deliver a feasibility study into the piece, because with the Dream project, we have an artist's aspirations, and effectively we're starting from a blank piece of paper.
Evans Concrete's been in existence for nearly 90 years, and I would have thought that this probably was the crowning glory, really. It's not the biggest structure we've ever done. It's possibly, it hasn't got the sort of continuity of casting that lots of other larger projects have got, but in complexity, it was absolutely awesome. Terrifying, really.
The on-site works were 6.5 months, which included from the construction of the access road to the installation of the sculpture and to handover. The trickiest moment for me was actually seeing the first pieces of Dream fit together, and that was really the make or break of the contract, and we knew then whether it was going to be a success or not.
The challenge essentially, once we'd confirmed that we were going to construct the Dream out of concrete, as it being the more durable and the aspirations of the artist to give it the texture and the finish, and particularly the white contrast to the old colliery site. Once we'd made that decision, the technical complexities at that point were in the specification of a non-standard concrete product, because this isn't a material that you would conventionally use for a construction project.
Well, the construction materials, what Jaume wanted was a very white concrete, white finish, and the whitest aggregate that you can possibly get is Spanish dolomite, which has a very high mica content, and so when you expose the aggregate, that's when you get the sparkle. So what's wonderful about today is that you can actually see not only is it white, but it's also sparkling as well.
I know different people have been interviewed for this film, and I'll be amazed if they hadn't said that the team ethos was one of the special pieces of this project. I mean, it quite honestly felt like no other project I've worked on, where everyone was totally bought into the quality. Everyone was totally bought into the ethos of what the community was trying to deliver. The artist, fantastic to work for. Our program managers, clients, you know, we sat around a table, and sometimes those roles were blurred. You couldn't really define who was doing what, because it was such a good team and environment to work in.
We came on board at the point when Jaume Plensa had been selected, and it was terribly important to us at that stage that an artist of his calibre had been chosen for the site. I think Dream will become iconic for St Helens, and indeed it almost already has been. I gather the BBC took some pictures of it and put it in the rugby league titles, so you know that kind of tells you what these things can do. I also think it's an incredibly beautiful and poignant statement of what art can do in response to a community's brief for something that mattered deeply to them. And I think what you saw today in terms of the crowds of people up here was exactly that, a community kind of coming together and recognising that an artist has realised a vision in response to their brief, but which has done something that only an artist can do, which is transform it into something that is forward-looking and inspirational.
Well, actually, when I came first time to visit the site, I remember I was very impressed in the location, the possibility to look 360 degrees around, and also the motto of the city, which was ex terra lucem, this idea that light is coming out from the earth. And well, all this combination of things, also the idea that a community just transform completely their life from one job to another. Ex-miners, now it's the biggest producer of glass plates in this country, well, etc. Well, I immediately thought the idea of future was needed, and I tried to represent fairs with light, but then with the face of a young girl, this idea of future, that something is coming out from earth, which is our roots, our traditions, but trying to link with the sky, with our ideas, with our dreams. And that was a little bit the process in my ideas, because the piece is in the perfect scale of the site, but also it's a very gentle piece. It's trying to talk about tenderly. And this idea of sensitivity, because when you think about ex-miners, sounds people very, but thanks to them, I discovered poetry, amazing tender people, and I guess my piece is a response to this not very evident look. I guess it's the soul inside the body, is a soul inside the landscape. Well, today I told to the fabricator, it's a company called Evans, thank you very much. I said that because you know that sometimes from the model, from the original ideas to the end, when the piece is complete, could happen a lot of things. Believe me, it's exactly as I expected to get. And that it's really complicated. I think they did, all the team, the engineers from Arup, this company Evans in Devonshire, they did an amazing job.